can't stop now. We all fall down sometimes, yeah, but that's just life. So cross my heart and hope to die. Baby, I was born to fight the fear when I feel like dying. I'm trying to fly high, but I'm not a pilot, can't deny it. There's some days I feel idiotic, just a product of a system where you're lucky just to make a dollar. That ain't gonna stop me cause my grind.
Hey guys, it's Adrian, aka Coaster Beach. I just randomly decided to start a Planet Coaster series. I don't know why, I just saw everybody else doing it and I thought, oh, maybe I could share my experience, working on the series and, putting things together. So I just got this computer and it runs Planet Coaster pretty fluidly. Of course, on base settings, I can't go any higher than that right now, which I wish I could, but the game already looks good. So yeah, I just decided to do this series. This park is called Chronos Springs. It's kind of a take on Epic Universe, but my own take on what I would do. It's based off Epic Universe. It isn't really like an Epic Universe kind of park, but it's gonna have portals and stuff like that, like Epic Universe, but it's gonna be my own themes and what I'm going to come up with. Right now, I'm building the entrance, which is a big part of the park. I took a lot of inspiration from the Chronos Tower Epic Universe. No, I can go back and make this better, so I probably will in a future video if you guys want to see that. But right now, I'm building the base tower settings, or the base tower. It's definitely took me a while to do this. Like, this is all this footage that I have in this video is split up over 2 days of building, and I kind of, went back and forth with it. We're still deciding on things to do, but right now I'm building the base tower for the Chronos Tower, aka Chronos Springs. It's gonna have a Chronos in the middle of it, or not really a Chronos. It's my take on the Chronos. It's not, perfect or anything. I'm still getting used to game mechanics and things like that. But it is definitely, getting to the point of being a Chronos. I was having trouble with roofing whenever playing. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do for the roof. It was, giving me issues trying to figure that out. And then I just selecting colors. I went with this like orange color because it really blends nice with the kind of contrast the green a little bit better. So I went with the seafoam green for the base of the tower. I think they turned out pretty good. It really contrasts nice with the brick and everything, but it definitely pulls it all together. I don't know, I'll let you guys decide, but I am, I did really like the green color, and I feel like it came out pretty nice, and with all the foliage and stuff around there, it definitely was a task. Now you can see that I'm working on the Chronos Tower, or the Chronos element of the tower. It was kind of difficult at first because I was still trying to figure out this piece, the rotating pieces, and I know you can put multiple together and make it rotate all sorts of different ways, but this is just a simple one rotation around, and I feel like it turned out pretty good. I didn't know how to detail the plan, so I just made basic arches and basic colors. It was definitely, not easy, but definitely not hard. The game kept bugging out for me every once in a while, where kept deleting my piece colors or anything like that. So I was just having a difficult time figuring it out, but eventually I got it to work, and you could see a loop there for a second, and then I put another one on the bottom of that. That way it helped me out, and I could do a opposite rotation if I wanted to. And that's right now I'm attaching more pieces to it, and gonna do, I think altogether I have 3 or 4 spheres on this that are rotating around it. I feel like it turned out pretty well. It was definitely difficult and not the easiest for me to figure out. But again, I've been playing Coaster, the original game, for years, so I was, still getting used to it. Okay, yeah, so I'm sorry about the birds in the background. You're going to be able to hear them throughout the whole video. But I was, messing with the Chronos a little bit more, trying to figure out a good rotational speed, and then I got it at a decent speed. I know the sun's supposed to be in the middle of the Chronos. It's not, but I kind of just threw random colors at it and, did it my way. I know it's not, it's not, theoretically correct. It's not going to be, but, I did what I thought looked good, and I like the way it turned out. It did turn out really well. I feel as if it could have been better, but of course I can go back and edit it whenever I need to. But I kind of want a lot of input on it. I will take constructive criticism. So if you guys are telling me I'm doing something wrong, I'm doing something different, let me know and I'll try to adjust to it. I will always take people's advice whenever it comes to building. If you guys want to throw advice at me, I'm more than willing to take it. Right now you can see me, finishing up the structure for this. I definitely wanted this like very industrial look to the structure. It wasn't, supposed to be like basic industry or anything. It was more of my take on an industrial structure. I didn't want to be focused on being industrial or sci-fi, something like that. I wanted it to be like a basic entrance, because then you go into the park and then you're going to get immersed into these different portals, kind of like a celestial park area, kind of like, a place where it's all centralized. It's, a park at first, but then you're going to go into, I don't want to be like, I want to like maybe make chambers or something that you walk into it and then bam, new area, kind of a blend, but not, like you're being transported to this area. So it's not, the same area or things like that. I kind of, wanted something that was basic for the start of the park. It's a good looking entrance, but it definitely can be better. And I'm gonna add more buildings eventually. Like, I do it on the inner portion of it first whenever it comes to adding buildings, but then I'm gonna do it on the outside too and make, guest services, windows, things like that. I just had this issue with the guests. They were kind of stuck at the entrance because I had deleted the buffers and everything, of course, which you guys saw. They were just stuck there the whole time. And then I deleted those 2 walls because I didn't want them to be opened. So I kind of just, closed them with some brick walls. Of course, this entrance is going to get more detailed over time. It's not finished whatsoever. It definitely is up to par of what I like to build. So this is just a basic entrance right now. I'm going to theme it over time, and you guys will see me come back to it. I like to jump around whenever I'm building. I don't focus on one thing at a time. So I kind of like to be all around, and I can't really focus on building one thing, so sorry for that. But I do like to just jump around, build around on things. Like right now I'm doing the stamping the path with a layer over it, just to give it a little bit of a flair, not a flare, but something different to look at, because I don't like all solid color paths. I feel like being able to stamp it was a great addition, and to the pathing system. I personally like it. Also, the scenery brush. Let me tell you about the scenery brush. This thing is absolutely amazing. You can do anything with it. You can do what you can do with Planet Coaster 1 with the click of just one trick, and it adds so many trees or so many foliage elements. It makes the game a lot easier to play, because I absolutely hated, having to place trees manually, place rocks manually. Right now I'm working on another building, so this is gonna have guest services or information stands as they're called in the game. The guest services, I couldn't get the what do you call them, the stands working correctly, so I just opted for the original units. I know it looks kind of ugly, but you have to do what you have to do. I really stuck with this orange for the roofs because I feel like it contrasted the green nice and it kind of brought it all together. I did this like green on the tops and I feel like it turned out pretty good. These buildings are not finished whatsoever. They are definitely a work in progress. I can't focus on one thing, so I moved on to building our center flat for this area. I wanted something that's going to draw your eyes in and like that's unique, even though it's not really unique. This is the same rides I can't swim, but I wanted you to be able to walk around the flat ride, so that's why I did the pathing. The entrance or the around the ride. I did struggle with it at first because I was like, it wouldn't. I deleted the flat ride in the middle and it didn't turn out nice. So then I took the draw tool and drew a circle around it, which then turned out pretty nice. And then I decided to bring all the pathing on, connect the area. I wanted something, that's going to look good on people's eyes. Of course, this is not finished color, and then the rounding tool really helps a lot whenever it comes to taking away sharp edges. And if you're like me, you don't really like sharp edges, because I feel like it takes away from the look and the beauty. Nice round paths help me, makes it look like it flows a lot better. Then I started working on the queue for the ride. It definitely was a task because it wouldn't bring it as close as I would like it to the flat ride, but once I took the edit tool and pulled it in, it turned out really nice in my opinion. I pulled it all together and, finished that up. It is a little close to the edge of the path, and I feel like the guest flow wouldn't be great around that one edge of it, because the entrance is right there. Again, you can see me adding more stamping and color. I decided to continue the color of the outside path in here because I feel like it just looks really good. Really good. I really do like this certain path texture. I feel like it turned well. And just bought the area. And of course, I went with the gray for the middle of flat because it's got to be a little bit different, and it also blends in with the outside area. Then I'm putting in toilets and a basic guest suite. I put in a drink shop, and then of course I built the building like the other one. Of course, these are going to get more detailed by the time you'll see me bring it all together and finish it. There's going to be a roller coaster towards the end of the episode, so I'd highly recommend you guys, stay tuned, because that roller coaster really, I took inspiration from two different rides and kind of like, made it as if they had a baby, and I think it turned out well. Of course, you guys see that at the end of the ride. Now you can see me theming the ride. I feel like it turned out really well when it comes to, adding themery to it, and I do love the element of adding themery to the rides. I feel like it brings the character out of the ride, and being able to add this. And then I added a couple more elements. I feel like with being able to do this, it kind of allows me to bring out more creativity, because in the last game, you don't know how many times I wanted to theme out the ride, and I did, but it sucks because a lot of the pieces didn't rotate with the ride, so it just clipped, and you can't do what you can do now. Everything rotates with the ride and moves with the ride, and it turns out it came out amazing. In my personal thing, I feel like it came out amazing. I added a lot of industrial elements to this ride because I do not like the base of this ride. It's okay, but it's not the absolute best. I feel like it looks cool as a ride in general, but I wanted it to really, like come together and, be detailed. So I just started adding a bunch of like different industrial elements. I started working on the ride vehicles themselves. I wanted this pod feel to it. I wanted it to be like you're stepping into this pod, rotating around, and kind of bring it all together. And so I wanted it to be like, oh, it's this futuristic element, but not really, like futuristic, but like, this big industrial machine. So whenever it comes to bringing it all together, I wanted it to be very industrial based and kind of have this good feel to it. And you guys will be able to actually name this ride, and you'll see it here in a second whenever I start building the entrance and everything for that. You'll see me put a sign that says "Name this ride" on it, and it'll be the actual ride sign. So you guys will be able to name this ride if you guys want to. You guys can keep those suggestions coming in. For the roller coaster, I'll also be accepting names, so you guys can come up with it, and it'll help me theme it in the future. So if you guys come up with a name for the roller coaster, I'll be able to theme it to that. But of course, for this area, whenever you guys are coming up with names, I want it to be something that has the feel of the Chronos in the middle. I wanted you to bring some sort of element for the Chronos, so the Chronos powers everything in this park. So I want you to put that in. If you're implementing a story, I want you guys to put that in. I did this element right here. I want it to be like a fusion core, part of the Chronos. So the Chronos is powering this fusion core, which then is powering the things around the fusion core. And so you guys can definitely come up with that. So yeah, I'm definitely then I'm changing the colors of the ride. I didn't like the colors, so I changed it to this again, that seafoam. I really like the seafoam color. I feel like it brought out, it definitely contrasts nice with brown and yellow and oranges and things like that. And then I set the ride out for testing. It did look pretty good when I was rotating around. Now you guys can see me putting in the ride sign. This ride sign definitely took some time for me to think about. And I ended up going with this steampunk feel with it. Not very steampunk, but kind of steampunk. It definitely had some steampunk elements to it. But I wanted this sign to look good. So again, we kind of went with these more industrial elements, so basic supports, and then I started putting gears on it, which actually turned out that center gear is where the name is going to be to fit within that gear. So no more than 6 letters if you guys can. If you don't, then I'll just make the sign bigger. Simple as that. But there's the sign going in. It says name this ride, so you guys can come up with suggestions. I really like it. Then I started working on the flower base. I wanted to do originally, I was going to go this industrial style, gates or whatever, bring it in like that. The only problem with the rotation kind of wouldn't work. And I don't know how to center it with the flat ride when it comes to rotating it around there. So yeah, you can see how the rotation wouldn't work. So then I came up with a new idea with this, taking these planners. I was like, okay. And then I think what I'm going to do in the future is bring some foliage in, not too much, of course, that's going to block the ride. But I wanted it to be kind of enclosed and look good. So I went with this, and I still wanted to have a park element to it, so I'm going to add as much foliage as I can in the area to make the area look good. Again, I'm still having issues with the rotating because it's not centered on the flat ride, and I don't think it would ever be centered on the flat ride. At least I don't know how to center it with the flat ride. But right now I'm just adding. Yes, I blocked the exit. That'll get fixed eventually. But I wanted this like very park feel, like how Universal said it whenever said said they're bringing the park back into a theme park, and I feel like it turned out really well. And I took big pieces and rotated them around. It turned out pretty good, except for the fact that it didn't really want to snap well, so I had to go in and manually adjust. And yeah, again, you can see me having issues with it not rotating correctly or how I like it, so I just brought it in and used the advanced move tool to kind of bring it in. And you can see that the bottom section is missing planners, which again I fix it eventually. See, so you can see that I'm selecting all of it and gonna move it down, adjust it. But it definitely came together whenever I added this element. I feel like it turned out really good, and whenever it comes to adding scenery, I'll add that eventually, because we'll see that in a later episode again, because I do like that go around whenever it comes to things, so I'm not going to theme everything all at once. So you'll see me come back to this in a future episode and, adjust it and fix it. I already have about 3 episodes recorded, but again, it does take me time, so you guys will see that in the next episode, coming back and fixing all these elements. And I feel like it turned out pretty well. Now it comes to the roller coaster, I decided that I was going to go with a Mac multi-launch. And I kind of, again, you can see how it's inspired by 2 coasters. So this I took from Hyperia, and I took it from Hyperia and Throw Park in the UK. So I took that element, and, but instead I went with the launch. I kind of inspired it off of Stardust Racers a little bit, and you'll see one of those elements come in. So this top hat is very inspired off of one of the top hats on Stardust Racer. I feel like it turned out really well. Of course, I went beyond vertical with the drop, so it kind of pulls itself in, and I feel like it turned out really well. And then I had an issue with the launch. Didn't really want to launch correctly or fast enough, so I just extended the launch a little bit and kind of sloped the launch up so whenever it's coming through. And then it launched straight through. I was like, what's going on here? Because it's supposed to have a hold section. So I put the hold section in there. Again, inspired off of Stardust Racers too, with the hold. And then it came all together. I started smoothing it. And boy, do I love this smoothing tool. Because it was one of the best. It's one of the best things added to the game also. And then I came out with this outer bank that then flips you under, which again is based off of Hyperia. Like I said, I took a lot of elements from Stardust Racers and Hyperia, and kind of, brought them all together and kind of came up with my own layout. And it's almost like if they had a baby. And I feel like it turned out really well. This is like this, it's a weird, so it comes up, and flips you inside out. Well, not flips you inside out, but it takes the car and flips it 180 and then comes down. So I kind of added that. And then again, I do another outer bank and come in. Well, it's not really an outer bank. It's more like a turn into an outer bank. And really like heart lining things, so it rotates with the direction of your heart. Because most coasters nowadays use heart line whenever it comes to that. Okay, here's the second launch. So I wanted to do this element where it rotates up and, then rotates back down and drops you, somewhat down. And I couldn't really get it to work. It didn't want to profile right. I didn't really like the way it turned out. So you can see my trial and error here. So again, I start to rotate it, but then it's just the angle that doesn't work. But then I didn't want the angle to be too steep, so I took it down and made it into this nice stall out turn. So then it just stalls and then turns and comes down. And then I do this very, very nice. I feel like the profile is just pristine on this heartline roll. Not heartline roll, but more of a corkscrew. Or I guess you can say it's a heartline roll. But I just wanted that element to like really flow nice, and it really did. Then there's this kind of like, it's not a 180-degree loop, but it comes up and it banks very sharply to the right, and just holds a hard bank throughout the top, and then comes down and evens out. So that element was definitely one of my custom elements that I haven't seen on a Mac launch coaster ever. I don't think that I just like the way it came out. What I am going to do though is I'm going to custom support this, and it's going to be fully custom supported. But we are reaching the end of the video, so I really appreciate you guys for watching this. I will see you guys in the next episode of Building Chronos Springs. Thank you guys for watching.
Baby, I was born to fight the fear when I feel like dying. I'm trying to fly high, but I'm not a pilot, can't deny it. There's some days I feel idiot.